Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's OpenONU Go call. Thanks a lot for joining. And as usual, the call is public and recorded and will be shared on YouTube. So please be mindful of the comments that you make and the information that you share with the group. So first of all, I just really want to thank everybody for the great effort that was put in during the last week or so. Both in terms of the AdTrend team, Holger, Michael, and testing from Torsten. And a huge thanks to Grish also from ONF that contributed the Multicast stuff. A huge thanks to Chip for the library. Really, I cannot say enough. And also the initial MCAS contribution from Odzge. I cannot really thank you guys enough for the whole work that has been done in the last week. And we have achieved what we aimed and set for, which is feature parity in 2.6 in terms of functionality, with the small caveat of the MIB audit, but I think that is something that we can live without, and with a lot more functionalities, such as the MIB creation and things like that. So a huge thanks to everybody. I just want to start this meeting with that because effectively today is the code freeze, and I just really want to thank everybody. I'm sorry if in the past 2 days I was not as responsive as usual, but theoretically they were personal time off days due to holidays in Italy. I tried to be still on top of things to make sure that you guys were able to progress as much as possible, and we were able to get this code freeze with all the features that we wanted. So thanks a lot for that. We will change the adapter to default in the upcoming days, effectively as of today. We will discuss within ONF how to do it, but I would expect in today, tomorrow, we will have the default adapter be the Go adapter, which is great. And that gives us still a week and some days if we find some bugs that we want to put in after code freeze, that we can do. And also to hone in the tests, that if there is anything that needs to be done for the testing purposes, we can still merge those tests. So a huge thanks to everybody. Let me come to the topics. So the high priority items, the multicast support is done. We've merged everything and it's all completed. So that's off the list. There was some work that was done here and there, but I think everybody knows here what was done, and I don't really want to spend too much time on it. If you're interested, just go on the Jira and get the 2 patches that were developed for it, and you'll see. We also updated the OMCI libgo version, thanks to Chip's patch that was pushed to update the multicast frame, multicast profile frame ME. With the new fixes that were needed. Thanks to Holger, also we updated the library to use an initial unknown ME attribute from OMCI libgo that Chip put in. This is still yet, if I understand correctly, Holger, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this is still just a workaround. So what I have done is I have added in the after 2.6 things that we need to do, the storing of unknown MEs. Is that correct, Holger? Is my understanding of your patch correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect.
Currently, we are ignoring these unknown MEs during BIP upload.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that we need to do after 2.6. I'll come to this maybe later during the meeting, so we can have an initial understanding of things. Okay. We also merged the tech profile removal from Michael, so thanks a lot for that. We might come to tech profile a little bit later because there's still a patch ongoing, so I want to talk about that, but the feature is done, is merged, and it's completed, so that's good. On the testing side, we have created more jobs and all the jobs, as soon as the default will be OpenONU Go, will be moved to the OpenONU Go Go adapter. But in the meantime, in the OpenONU Go tab, you will see that we have, except for the DT one that has not run the last time, but it was passing all the times before it was an issue with the pod. Every other job here is passing with very good flying colors. This is an issue with an SSH key. I'm unrelated to the Go adapter. And this one is the deletion addition of the logical device. Again, unrelated to the Go adapter. We might look into it in the upcoming week. But Turk Telecom all passes with flying colors. 1T-Conf4 gem passes here, which is without power strips, so without powering off the ONU, but also passes here with a successful power on, power off of the ONU. And also at scale, we are having very good numbers. So this particular set of tests is how we decided that we can go with the Go adapter as the default. So it's pretty good. So also the reconciling of the initial states has been merged by Olger. This is done. The other big thing that was done, and a huge thanks to David Bainbridge, he cannot join this call because of a time conflict, but he did a huge work to get this v4 protos in. So we now also have tracing across the ONU adapter with the operation ID. So if you look in the newest logs of the adapter, you can actually see that there is an operation ID within the log, and what that means is that you can trace an operation within the whole stack through Jaeger, and that is very good. And even if you don't use Jaeger, you can use that key to search around the other logs of the containers to keep track of this. So this is perfect. That's very good that we have it, and it's very good that we got it into 2.6. So there's a few things that I wasn't really sure of what the status of those are, and I wanted to discuss. Before we do go there, is there any questions about all the things that we have done in the past week?
One question from me, Andrea.
Yeah.
We proposed a new test suite regarding reconciling. And
Yes.
Do we still need a review, or should Thorsten already start with it?
That is a very good point. Thanks for reminding me. Let me actually add it to today's meeting. I want to discuss it and just at least make sure that everybody takes a look at it. And I want also Suchitra to take a look at it. Sorry if if I have not pushed a lot for that. That is because I wanted to get the features for 2.6 in before today, but this is definitely important. So let me put that, and we're going to discuss it after these two topics. Is that okay, Holger?
Yes, it's okay.
Perfect. Any other questions on the stuff that we just talked about?
Perhaps regarding the Jaeger edition, is it
Yeah.
self-explaining, or do we need some intro how to use it?
Oh, there is, I think, some documentation on how to use it. I'm not really sure where that documentation is. Come on.
But probably it's a package, or do we have an own own documentation for ONF?
No. I think we do have something within ONF, but I'm not really sure. Grish, do you know if and where we have some of this stuff? Maybe this one. Oh, yes, it's this one. Just, yeah, there it is. Please do try it out. If it doesn't work, let me know.
Okay.
So thanks. Perfect. Okay, so the one thing I wasn't really sure we have done, I believe we have done so, but Michael, can you confirm this is done? Or are you still investigating?
Let me check on what that is for a moment. I know I'm still investigating this. We have seen some issue and also some error logs in the RW core trace files, but unfortunately we do not have long enough traces from the ULT adapter. So I still try to fetch something in that direction.
Okay, if there is anything I can help with here, just do let me know if we need to run some jobs with some specific parameters enabled, or do you want to test a specific constellation at scale? Just do let me know. I can also help now. I'm mostly free of the things that we needed to do for 2.5, and if this consider that this is a bug, we can get it in the next week or so. So if anything I can help with, just let me know, or let me or Girish know, and we can definitely take it forward, okay?
Moreover, Girish has made some comments during the last days that he has seen, and this is also mentioned here, I think, that there was a surprising resulting state after the disable procedure. Well, we haven't seen such things in our test so far, at least not in the last time. So perhaps, Girish, if you still have some log file on that, or if you have some test where this would be visible, then you could forward to us.
Yeah, I think I have that test number for that. Let me share with you. Just give me a moment.
Perfect. So I think we're actually looking at two different things. So one is this one that we need to reproduce, investigate. The other one is the subscriber removal, which is what you have been looking at. Let me just maybe move this out. Okay. Okay.
So I would be more lucky if you would write it as a device reason status from. So not really related to the OMC state.
One thing to keep in mind is that in 2.7, we're going to merge some changes to the protos that effectively bring in a list of reasons, and not just, I think I mentioned it somewhere in the Slack channel, but I want to make everybody aware. And it's not just going to be a single reason, which is what we have right now, but it's going to be a list of reasons. that effectively you could see the history of things that happen on the ONU. And this, I think, goes in the direction of helping us out in understanding what's going on in the ONU. It's better. It's more interesting. I think it's a valuable change, but we would have to go in and change. I'm not sure if the adapter will require changes, but the testing infrastructure will definitely require changes to make sure that we are actually reading within that list. So I'm just going to make sure that that patch gets discussed and looked at from, for example, Torsten as well, before we actually merge it, so the tests don't break effectively, which is important.
Will this this list be displayed with a Vault control list command by
there
default?
will be, yeah, there will be some way of getting that list through Vault-CTL. Again, given all the stuff that I was working on, I haven't had the time to take a look, but I was actually hoping that we could get a demo of that at the TST. Let me actually make a note to myself to ask for that to Ken. Okay. Okay. Michael, do you want to give us an update on this patch that you're working on for the tech profile config? I was mainly interested in why do you see this happening and what's the issue here? And also, if you can just give us a brief overview of the fix that you're doing.
This is a problem that you have seen in one of the Turk Telekom regression tests. So from there, it was visible that the final expected state once the flow pushed was not reached, but the tech profile download success state. And this should normally be avoided by a certain correlation of the flow profile processing with the tech profile, with the related tech profile processing, but that this still did not work in the multi-tcont environment. So there had to be done some extensions to guarantee that this dependency is also considered in the multi-tcont environment. And I hope that the current state of the patch, which is now patch 5, is able to handle this. Yeah, the current state is that at the moment, I hope the regression is still running on that. Perhaps with the latest patch then successfully. And if this is done, then of course, we should check this specific Turk Telekom scenario with this patch if this really helps in this scenario as well.
Yeah, I think that as soon as this passes tests, let us. It does have a Turk Telekom test within it because I now merged a patch that adds verification with the Turk Telekom BBSIM based tests too. We could look at possibly testing this the Turk Telekom hardware job before merging it. I can do this. Whenever we get to the final version, I can build an image and test it into the pod.
Andre?
Yes, go ahead.
In this software hardware tests, do we have ping also for services?
Yes, it's ping for everything and multicast traffic. So if you go here, look at this one, for example. What the first, so let's get this one, which is passing. So the 3 tests that we run are basically it's a cleanup. This is actually just rebooting everything. The first test is sanity for HSIA, BOD, and VoIP. And what that, if you look inside here in the log, what that does is, let's take the first one. For all the ONUs, we have 6 ONUs connected to this particular OLT. Let's get one random, really.
It's 3 ONUs. I think for the first one, it does VOD. No, it's 2 ONUs. Sorry, it does VOD, VoIP, HSI. 0, 1, 2 is for first, and 3, 4. Okay, there are 7 tests, but it's only 2 ONUs. It does VOD, VoIP, and HSI each for all those ONUs.
Oh, well, in any case, let's pick one, and you can see that it does validate DHCP and ping. So here it actually goes in and does a ping here. Check ping result, and it contains the ping stuff. Should not. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And but also importantly, it does not do also HSA, but also MCAST. So we do test. Sorry, this is the bottom. We also do test multicast through iPerf. So we do this type of test. And this is where I'm going to test this. Yeah, go ahead, Girish.
So no, just on another note, Mikhail, I just pinged on this chat the test job where it failed. On ONU disabled, the expected state was admin state lock, but I think it was in tech profile deleted or some other weird state.
There we go. That's the thing. Okay. So I would ask everybody to please review the dispatch from Michael. Whenever you have some time, please do take it to give some review. Especially, I would like you, Girish, to take a look if you can, because you've done the multi-tcont, so this might help us if you know that piece of code the best.
So while we were speaking, meanwhile the regression was done, and there's still some error in the AT&T test, as I see here. So I first have to check what's going on here now. So I guess, I make a comment if it makes sense to have a further look.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. As I said, please just bear in mind that given that this is what I would consider a bug fix, it's not important to get it in today. Obviously, it would be important to get it in before the release, which is happening the 18th, but we can live for code freeze without this one. So just don't stress it out with it within today. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so let's go to the reconcile test proposal. So there it is. So the idea is to have another set of tests that cover the initial the reconciliation process happening in different states of the system. Holger, Torsten, do you want to give us a brief overview of the document?
Actually, that was I sent this proposal in Slack, and you wanted to have it in a document. Yep. So it is actually encountered some issues with reconciling during the startup phase of the ONUs, and therefore I merged, or I submitted a new patch, and to test all the situations or all the use cases where this reconciling could happen. The proposal is to do it in to do one test case during the very early startup of the ONU during the MIP upload cycle in the device region starting OpenOMC, and that means within this situation to kill the adapter, the OpenONU adapter, and then wait for a successful reconciling and check it. And the next test case would be to wait a little bit longer until the initial MIP download is finished and the process of configuring the flows and the tech profile is started, and to kill the adapter at this point in time in startup, and also check if it will be reconciled correctly. And the next one would be to wait for the ONU to come up and start up, and then lock the ONU or disable the ONU, and then make a reconcile and see if it comes up in this lock state, and if it is possible via the enable ONU command to revive or to re-enable the ONU. Please note that normal straightforward reconcile test from OMC flows push to OMC flows pushed is already contained in the main test suite of the OpenONU adapter. So this test case is only meant or only suited for the special cases of reconcilement. The idea was to check if anybody has another idea or additional proposals to test what to test with this new test suite.
So I'll go ahead, but I'm totally fine with these tests. Actually, as I expressed, I think they're a very good addition to what we have right now. And they would make a perfect set of tests to make sure that the behavior is correct. The one thing I would evaluate is to put these on a per patch run, because it would mean that the patch would now take a lot of time for verification, or move them to like a nightly job. But I think that independent of that, which is just where to put the call for the make target that you guys are going to work on, I think this is great test addition. So I would be all for it to go ahead and develop them. Anybody has any thoughts on these, or any other checks that you guys would like to be performed at this stage of reconciliation?
The question is would it be good to have such test also for the other containers, or do you have already?
We don't, at least not to this extent, in the sense that we do have some reconciliation tests, meaning that the adapter goes away and the core goes away and comes back, and we check that everything is good. But I think they are akin to what you call the straightforward reconcile test. So they're not to this depth. So I think this would be very valuable to start with the OpenONU Go adapter, and then maybe based on these, we could possibly look at either parameterizing them, or taking them as an example and doing these type of tests also, for example, on the OLT adapter, things like that.
Okay, I see. Mm-hmm.
So I'm for full approval. If I don't hear anything else from anybody here right now, I would just say go ahead and do them. But does anybody have any comments?
It seems a pretty good coverage to me.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, let's say approved. Please do start implementation with file. And one thing that I would ask is, would it be possible to run these tests also on a physical pod? Do you see any issue with that?
I don't know if we have really the means to do that, because
No. Not you guys, not on your physical pod, but on our physical pod. Meaning, my question was, if I take the make target that is going to be submitted, and I put a stage into one of our existing hardware test pipelines to run all those tests, are they going to run? Or given that they were developed on BBSim, they just work on BBSim?
Andrea?
Yes.
The main test suite, I think it's called OpenONU state test, maybe could run on a real hardware, but the template check will only run with BBSim because there's a special BBSim version used.
Yes.
This is one where I can start the ONU separately. And it would be a nice try to let it run on the real pod hardware.
Yep. Okay.
And maybe there are some small changes or modifications needed. Then we have to do it. Else, it would be nice. Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Also the reconcilement suite. Yeah. When developed, it is a trial. We could give it a trial. It's a hardware.
Yes, indeed.
And please remind only AT&T workflow.
Just the AT&T workflow?
Yes.
Okay. Not Deutsche Telekom?
Actually, then addition the subscriber add would be necessary. I don't know would be eventually necessary. Some different command flows would be necessary then, I think. Or do you is it the task of the NEM to bring up anything again then? Or what is your expectation when we kill the adapter during the startup phase?
Oh, that's a good
normally
question.
we would reach initial MIP downloaded, and then it would be necessary to add a subscriber, right?
Yes. That would be part of the NEM. So we call it with our robot tests. We call the Volt add subscriber access.
Do you know what is possible with the default ARPOL flow with the AT&T scenario? Can we do some traffic check with this?
With the default, no. With the default EPOL, you can run the supplicant and check that it authorizes. That's the only thing you can do. Girish, am I wrong? Or no, I think it is like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that.
And that means if an additional traffic test would be needed, then we would have to create some additional flows, right?
You will just have to call VoltCTL add subscriber access.
Yeah. But
okay.
Any other checks would be possible. For example, to check if the ports are enabled in ONOS and the flow, if the flow exists, and so on. So this should also work as it works in the BBSim.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So perhaps as a next step, traffic could be added.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. From my point, only the flow test should be excluded for TT and DT. Maybe that's enough. Maybe. I'm not sure, but this could be.
Okay, let's maybe focus another time on that. I don't want to go down that right now, but so I would say just go ahead and start with the implementation of this. As usual in the Volta system tests, I wouldn't worry about including it into 2.6. It's something that we can target for 2.7. It would be a very nice addition for that part of the release. And so any other topic that you guys want to cover? I have another one on the next steps, but I just want to make sure that we covered everything that we needed to talk about before going to the next steps.
So Andrea, because it's the first time for us, could you explain what it really means that you have code freeze?
Yes, exactly. So that was what I was about to discuss. So what happens now basically was my next topic. So the idea would be that today we effectively branch, at the end of today, we effectively branch the code out on a separate 2.5 branch, Volta 2.5 branch.
2.6?
Sorry, yes, please, thanks. 2.6. And what that is that master continues on his own trend and we can merge things, but only bug fixes, such as your patch, Michael, can go in the 2.6 branch. On that 2.6 branch, we are going to effectively build images out of it. And we are going to start nightly testing with that 2.6 branch, which is effectively the code that is there right now. So I don't expect any issues. But these tests, we let them run over the weekend with the 2.6 and for the whole rest of next week. If we see no issues, there's no action that we need to take. If we see some issues, we might issue some bug fixes, and those will be merged in the both branches. So in master and in 2.6 branch. In master, we can also merge other things, not just bug fixes. And at the end of the release process, we are going to have a final tag for the OpenONU in the release of 2.6. So right now, the OpenONU is I don't remember exactly which version it is on, but I think it would be good to have a 1.0.0 version for this release. So effectively, what we will do is that we will change in the release version here to 1.0.0, and then branch off. We branch, and then we release another version if any bug fixes come in, like a 0.1, 1.0.1, and master will be 1.0.1/dev whatever number. And then this particular version will be hard-coded into the 2.6 branch of the Volta Helm charts. So we will also tag the Volta Helm charts with a specific Volta 2.6 tag and branch. And we will include our released version in there. And it will also be included in a special kind of Volta file under releases/Volta 2.6. And in there, we will include the version of the chart that we need to deploy. We will also make a release note with everything that was changed and the specific versions. You can see an example of such release note here. For example, the 2.5 is in here. So we will have an highlights, feature improvements. It will be put inside here. And we will include, as you see here, the Volta components. So it will be Volta OpenONU adapter Go 2. something, 1.0.1, for example, with the chart 2.6.0, I believe, if I'm not mistaken on the numbers. Don't quote me on that, they're just numbers. And after this, the 18th, we are going to release this. And on the 18th, we effectively are saying, this is the release. If you deploy with these exact numbers, you are certain to get everything running. We will keep the branches. We will keep the branches there, the 2.6 branches, if needed, if they were created, to have some support. If anything really bad happens after the release, we can still fix it and release a new version, and we're going to just go ahead and change things in here. So from your point of view, this is all going to be done by ONF. So you guys don't really have to do anything about it. Just one thing that you would need to worry would be just making sure that the version files are correct in any patch that you push, for at least like until we continue development on master. So that's really the only thing. The version file, you just need to pay a little bit more attention during these days. But apart from that, all of the tagging, processing, and putting out the release, it's going to be done by ONF. So you don't really have to worry about it. Does that answer your question, Michael?
Nearly. The question would be, what happens if we deliver still several patches within or for the 2.6 release?
That is really. Yeah, go ahead.
Perhaps beyond that, still some progress in the main branch.
Yes. So for the 2.6 patches, for patches that need to go into 2.6, there is no issue. They will go into the 2.6 branch and in the master branch. So let's say today we freeze and we say it's version 1.0. What will happen is that within the 2.6 branch, there will be a 1.0.0-dev. And whenever we then next Friday see that everything is green, we are just going to have another minor release, 1.0.1, again, just numbers. And in there will be all the patches that were delivered for 2.6 as bug fixes. For master, there is no change in our current workflow. You just go ahead, develop, push, and we merge it. We just need to be aware and make sure that every change that we make to the 2.6 branch is also in the master branch. But don't worry, I'm here and I can make sure that that happens.
Okay, so your assumption is there is no submit for something that is only in the master branch and which is not relevant or is not taken over to 2.6.
Yes, so the release.
All changes that will be also done for 2.6 in this time frame.
Yes, if they are bug fixes. If they are new features, let's say, just hypothetically, we decided to implement MIB audit from starting tomorrow. And you have it implemented by Friday. What I am going to say is that does not go into 2.6. That goes just on master. Because that's a feature. That's a new piece of code that implements a new feature. Instead, for example, let's take the patch that you are working on in relation to the multi-tcont. That is a bug fix. So the bug fix goes into 2.6. That can go in even after code freeze. The feature, a new piece of code, a new functionality that was added and it was not present before, and it cannot be a bug fix, and it's not a bug fix, that will not go into 2.6. That will just go to master.
Yeah, but if you have merged something in the master branch, and afterwards we still want to deliver a correction for 2.6, then we have to pay attention that we provide patches based on versions that were before that. That is not that easy in my point of view.
That is correct. That is why our suggestion. Well, we keep this short. This is one thing that is valid for basically 1 week and a half, effectively. But my suggestion is always, in this time frame, please do give priority to the bug fixes. Meaning that if there is a bug fix, work on it on the 2.5 branch, 2.6 branch, or on master, up to you. Then submit it, and then we say, okay, we submit it, and then we merge it in both branches, and then we develop a new feature on the master branch if there is anything. After that, what you can do, if there is a bug fix needed for 2.5, after a new big feature was merged into master, what you do is you develop it on the 2.6 branch, so on the release branch, and then you port it to master, and you will have to deal with rebases, and you will have to deal with porting it to a little different code base. Yes, that is a little bit of a pain, but it's the way of life. It's the only way we can do support for the for a release. But again, if there are any questions, we can work them out as on a case-to-case basis. Yes, we have to be a little bit of aware during this time frame of what we merge.
It means your recommendation is to when implementing a fault correction, always start with a 2.6 code base, and then after submitting it and rebasing it afterwards into the master, where probably some additional feature developments already took place, right?
Yes, that would be my suggestion. Yes, because for a number of reasons. One is because the 2.6 branch or the release branch is always fixed. Like there are very small patches or very few patches that go in, and also because you work on the 2.6 branch and you make sure that it works on the 2.6 branch, and because that branch has to work because it's the release branch. With the master branch, if something breaks, there's always time to fix it because it's the master branch, and we expect it to work. But if something breaks for like a 3-hour time period, that's okay, we fix it. It's master. Make sense?
Yes. And the exact branch date is already.
My expectation is end of today Pacific time. So
today,
by the time we wake up, we meaning European time frame, wake up tomorrow morning, it will be branched. If for some reason we decided to push it one day, we push it one day. But again, most likely today.
Okay.
Is the Volta system tests repository also repo also branched?
Great question. Yes, it is.
Okay.
For the same reason, because you want to keep tests aligned with the code that you're testing. So if tests come in, you don't want to run them on a code that you don't know if they work with or not. So yes, we do also tag the Volta, tag or branch, depending on the needs, the Volta 2.6 repo.
And also all the other repos, right? That means
we
have. How do we control via Helm charts then what we want to test? If we want to test the 2.6 or the master?
Yes, you can go to the 2.6 branch of the Volta Helm charts if you just want to use that, or if you want to do kind Volta tests. There will be after the release a Volta 2-2.6 file under the releases. As you can see now, if you go in kind Volta. Here, you see that there is a releases folder, and within here there is this file.
We still see the meetings and the meeting notes.
Oh, sorry, it's my bad. I was opening it in a new window. here, there is this release file that exports all the different parameters and versions to test the 2.6 release, so 2.5 release, and we will have an exact file to test the 2.6 release. So it's just simple. It's just simple as source releases / Volta dash 2.6, and then Volta up, and you will bring up a 2.6 versioned cluster.
I see.
Questions? Anything else that I didn't cover, that I didn't go over?
No.
Okay.
One reason for my question is that I saw a smaller issue still in the recent traces, where I think it could be worth having a fix for that still for 2.6. During one of the last changes done for the ONU adapter, somehow the retrieved version that we print out at the beginning, at the start of the adapter, is not available anymore. I don't know when it was lost and why it's not given anymore, but it would be nice to have that in 2.6 still.
That is totally fine by me. Again, it's a bug fix, so it can go in even tomorrow, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Effectively not Friday, because if on Friday evening we want to give the release, we also need to make sure that we are testing with the latest code base. Okay, then what I would ask everybody is to just continue with the work. We are going to do the release, so don't worry about that. And if there is any questions, any thoughts, we just share them on the Go channel. But please, if you have a little bit of time, do take a look at this list that I put together. These are all things that came to my mind. Some of these might have Jira stories. Some of them might not have Jira stories. I would need to check and make sure that they are all created within Jira, and make sure that they are tracked. And if anything around these, you have any questions, just put them on here on a comment, or if you think you might want to work on it and you have a better description than what I can work on, just put a Jira story and just put the Volta number or the link to here. Okay. Any more questions, thoughts? Okay, then if not, let me again reiterate a huge thanks to everybody for the great work. I'll make sure that there is a lot of recognition and there is a lot of positive achievement from this in our release notes and a few other things. So thanks a lot again, and I'll talk to you next week. And for anything, just I'm always available on Slack and on the Go channel. Cheers, everybody. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.